Oh, good morning, all you quarantine cool cats. How we doing this Sunday morning? Follow me, I want to introduce you to week 3 quarantine challenge. All right, this challenge is going to be super open with some guidelines. There's always guidelines. So come on over. Come on over. Let me have a seat here. Let me get comfy. All right, I'm gonna show you what I did later, but let's get on to challenge number 3. Okay, beautiful birds. You hear them? They're chirping away. Bright, beautiful, warm morning. Okay, let's get down to it. Challenge 3. You are gonna do handwriting as art. What does that mean? I have uploaded these, or I will, on Neo. And if you're an outsider and don't know what Neo is, you can always pause this video and take a look closer and read what we're gonna be doing. So you're gonna take handwriting, your normal, regular handwriting, you're gonna make it beautiful. What you're gonna do though, is you're gonna write a letter. You're gonna write a letter to someone that you want to see. Like you wish you had this person in front of you today. Instead, you'll write a letter to them, and if you can mail it to them, even better. Get an envelope, get a little stamp, throw it in the snail mail, and they'll get it in a few days. All right, I might even give you extra credit if you send this person your artful letter. Now, I did one. It does not have to be a living person. I'll show you the person that I wrote my letter to. He is no longer with us, but we'll get into that in a second. Doesn't have to be a living person, living or not. Write a letter to someone you wish you could talk to today. So, beautiful. Back here. All right, everyday lettering. Again, if you're outside of Neo, if you're finding this on YouTube, go ahead and pause and you can read it. This is just explaining how you can create everyday letters, everyday handwriting into something beautiful. And I'll show you an example. I'll do a little demo for you. All right, and here's the second page. So again, on your own time, read this, take a couple minutes to read it, and you're gonna have 3 options. Three options. The first one is gonna be whimsy grid. So you don't have to write straight lines, okay? You can create your own guidelines. They could be curvy. They could be going like this or like that. You can create your own guidelines and they're right inside your guidelines. Again, the surface that you write on is up to you. I had a canvas. You might have cardboard or computer paper. What else can you work on? You can work on wood, like a thin sheet of wood. Whatever you got hiding in your house, go grab a piece, you know, yay big, nothing too small. And so this is option 1 for your personal artful letter to the person that you wish you saw today. It could be a whimsy grid. Second option. That's page 2 of option 1, okay? Just it shows step by step, all right? So you can pause that, read it, or rewind. All right, second option is letters in the round. Think about your composition. Think about the design of your letter. Does it have to be just straight lines or wavy lines? It could be designed within a circle. It could be designed within a diamond. Think about all those shapes out there in the world and how you can fill them in with your artful letters. Option 2. Option 3. You might be a mathy person. You might have some graph or grid paper at home. Think about how you can use the grid as guidelines. Think about tall letters, short letters, thick letters, thin letters. Okay, so either on graph paper or designing in a circle or wavy grid lines, wavy lines. Those are your 3 options. Your 4th option is if you want to go outside of this. Again, all of you are going to be creating these letters to someone, these artful letters to someone you wish you saw today. If you can't think of your own design or own composition, use one of those 3. This is the one that I chose. I did a giant letter A. And this letter is in the alphabet of bookhand or foundational, which I will upload again if you don't have access to what foundational or bookhand lettering is. And I just found some markers and some spray paint for the background. There was, I spray painted the canvas first. It's just on a stretch canvas. And then I went on top with the markers, and then I used a Sharpie to write in my letter around the letter A. Now, what is this letter A? Well, this is for my father. My father's name is Andrew. And I wrote his name, Andrew, all around the border. That was the second thing that I did. After I drew in the A, I did Andrew all around the border. And then I wrote my letter inside the negative space. Remember, the positive space is the actual object. In this case, it's a letter A. The negative space is the space behind it. So I used my creativity and my knowledge of all the things that I know about art, and I designed my own composition. That's your fourth option. If you want to break the mold, go beyond the three. Now, for my advanced students, you might want to consider this. Instead of just copy step by step from the other three options, you might design your own composition. Amazing. Okay. So my letter to my father is in the negative space with Sharpie, okay? Now, I want you to remember, let's say I'm gonna write the word motivated, okay? Let me just start off with regular writing, not too fancy, like that. Look at, super simple, but also super boring. How can you create these letters to be extra? Let's go extra. What I want you to think about is vertical lines being thicker, horizontal lines going this way are thin, lines going down are thick. So as it comes down, it'll get thick. As it goes over, it'll get thin, down, thick. So for the letter O, thick on the sides, skinny on the top and bottom. This is all about how you create. This isn't calligraphy, guys. This is lettering. Calligraphy is done in one stroke with a calligraphy pen. Right now, I am lettering because I know that after I've written out my skeleton letters, I'm going to start to go back and create thick and thins. That's what's going to make this a little bit more interesting and artful, if you will. Now, some of you might remember the name of these little feet. I'm putting these little feet. And in bookhand, you have these feet. You have a foot at the top of the T, maybe at the bottom of the T, make that thick, maybe create a little triangle right there so it blends into the thick lines like so. Raise your hand if you remember what these little feet are. Go ahead, raise them up. Are you serious? If you raised your hand and you're in an empty room, you're silly. You're silly. All right. These are called serifs. Serifs. So you might have to do some research on serifs, but those are just the little ticky-tack feet at the top and bottom of letters. And that's what I did with the black letters behind the A. I wrote them out in a super simple skeleton letter, and then I went back and I added thick and thins. Incredible. Again, think about sending your letter. If it's on paper, totally fine. Send it out in snail mail, give you some extra credit. If the recipient, if the person you sent it to, takes a picture of themselves with your letter. Huh. Incredible. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, week number 3 challenge is in the books. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay away from other people. 6 feet. 6 feet. I found a gaggle of skateboarders at school yesterday. They were not social distancing. Bad, bad, bad. You know who you are. All right, friends. Quarantined cats and kittens. Go get them.